First, I would like to thank each of you for being here again today and giving me this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to lead America's premier child advocacy organization. I want to thank my family for the sacrifices that they have made during the last 2 years, not the least of which is putting up my demanding schedule. And I would just like to introduce my family that's here today before we get going. First of all, my wife, Karen Thornton. 26 years. My mother, Estelle Thornton. My brother, Charles, who was an 8th grade teacher. Now he's an administrator, hospital administrator. And then my son, Trey Thornton. Second Lieutenant, United States Army Finance. And my daughters could be with us this morning. She's in Houston, Texas, and other family members around the country and the world. But I thank them for being here today and supporting me. I also want to thank General Dynamics for being so flexible with my work responsibilities. I will tell you, they already have an in for me. Monday morning, I go back to work at 7:30. And I can see my boss with about 10 projects waiting on me. I want to personally thank our officers and board members and committee members and the dedicated staff for all the work they're doing. Let's give them a hand. When I was senior class president at Morehouse College in 1989, I was doing research and preparing for my graduation speech, and I felt a sense of despair as I read facts and just thought about the condition of my community at the time. Child poverty, crime, miseducation, unemployment, violence, just a lot of despair. So as I shared this with my advisor, Dr. William Kearney, he gave me some very profound advice. And that advice was, Otha, you can't save the world, but you can make a difference. You can't save the world, but you can make a difference. I also thought about another one of my heroes, Jackie Robinson, who said, a life is not important except in the impact that it has on other lives. It was 2 years ago, but it seems like it was only yesterday when I took the stage to become your president. I remember it like it was yesterday, at the point of election in Orlando, Florida, to the installation in Cincinnati, Ohio, when the delegates knew, and I knew, that my presidency was more than a moment. It was a movement towards our membership living the true meaning of our tagline, every child, one voice. I will always be thankful to the ones who welcomed me with open arms, who showed me the ropes, who helped me lead our association. Now, of course, there was some uncertainty by some, unease by others. Being the first African-American male president, I definitely had a different set of life experiences. So it's reasonable that some took a cautious approach to my presidency. Coming into office, I understood that it would take vision, discipline, and grit to move the nation's premier child organization forward. 2 years ago, I told you how improbable that it was that I could even be standing here on the stage as the president of National PTA. I was raised by a wonderfully engaging mother who you met earlier. She gave me the ingredients for such a leadership position. But leading National PTA, it was never in my wildest dreams. When I became active in my local PTA unit, I didn't do it for status. I didn't do it to move up to council, district, or state level. Heck, I didn't even know it was a national PTA. But I was simply an engaged father, wanting a great education for my children. And in being an engaged father, wanted that for all other children. So to rise to become the president of such a historic association as National PTA was not even on my radar. Let's talk about the state of the association. During the last 2 years, I have made a highly concerted effort to bring a different perspective and a different approach to PTA. I have strived to be a dynamic leader with whom people from all walks of life could relate. As I reflect, I'm reminded of the words of a famed neoclassical writer who said, "We make promises in accordance with our hopes, and we keep them in accordance with our fears." My hope for this association was that I would not only change the association, but to transform it in the process. I endeavored to make the National PTA a more forward-looking and strategic-minded and progressive association, capable of living up to the mission and the expectations of our diverse stakeholders. When it comes to figuring out how to best serve our children, everyone's opinion counts, or at least it should. This is not my PTA. This is not your PTA. This is bigger than all of us combined. This is our PTA. This is America's PTA. Ketterland stated, "Change. Everyone hates it, but it's the only thing that brings us progress." When I took office as national president, I did so fully prepared to shoulder the burden that naturally comes with being a change agent and being willing to strive, to push, to challenge, and to stand firm in this endeavor to push us to become our best selves. Much was changed over the last 2 years. We've agreed, we've disagreed, we've agreed to disagree. We fought with one another, we shaped national policy, and we partnered with national organizations who have improved our position as a national organization. A great leader once said, "If you don't like change, you will like irrelevance even less." We have collectively made our organization more relevant, and for that I say thank you. Today, the association is in a much stronger position than we were 2 years ago. PTA is on a new path, and our best days are ahead. Give yourselves a round of applause for charting of this course. And thank you for being there with me and for not being afraid to take control of this season. Now, 2 years is not a long time, but it's long enough to make change, to help change take hold. But it's long enough also to help visions unfold. 2 years is not a long time, but it's long enough for the country to understand that today's PTA is both anchored in its past and charting a new path, a new way of thinking, a new walk, a new talk, and with greater passion and commitment. With your indulgence, let me recount just a few ways that you've made a difference in PTA. In 2013, National PTA had $8.3 million in the bank. Today, the association has $10.5 million in the bank. In fact, National PTA has more assets and more unrestricted assets than it had 2 years ago. We had to tighten our belts last year in 2014 because we had to replace a roof and doing the work on the facade at our headquarters building, which cost us about $960,000. Nevertheless, since that time, our assets have grown from $15 million to $18.2 million, securing a better financial position for our association. Since 2013, with some exceptional board members with exceptional skill sets, we've been able to help increase our investment gains by $106,000, or about 28%. We've grown total assets by a total of $7 million, or again, 12%. Our current board has set the favorable conditions for us securing the future and laying the groundwork for a refinance of our headquarters and secure our home for years to come. I am so thankful to the Finance Committee. And I thank my Secretary of Treasury, Sophia Wall, and her team and the staff for putting the resources in place, and along with the Resource Development Committee, for the resources they brought to the table for our association. This year, we have around 400 vendors and sponsors at this convention, which is an increase of 36%. During the last 2 years, we have slowed our rate of membership attrition. We have around 10 states right now that actually have grown membership over the last couple of years. We currently have 44 new units in the country. And these 44 units come from 26 different states. Give yourselves a round of applause. We launched our much-utilized state resource database and also our e-learning library. These accomplishments will benefit the association for years to come. Our current board has hired a great executive director in Nathan Monell, who has great ideas that promise to build membership and stabilize the association for years to come. Thank you. I'm looking at Nathan. We appreciate you being on board. Here's some additional facts. National PTA media impressions. That's how many possible people that are exposed to our message. Grew to 4 billion. That's 4 billion impressions versus 230 million impressions when we came in. That is 14-fold number of media impressions that National PTA and PTA has had. Give yourselves another hand for helping us deliver that message and break through. Let's talk about relationships that we've built during the last 2 years. National PTA established a relationship with Quicken, who featured the National PTA logo on a NASCAR number 39 Quicken Loans Chevrolet, driven by Ryan Newman at Pier Michigan 400. We partnered with Univision and signed a memorandum of understanding with the Hispanic Heritage Foundation to advance academic achievement and college readiness among Hispanic families and students. We started a fruitful relationship with Healthy Weight Commitment Foundation that exposed and expanded our partnership to bring SMART from the Start Early Childhood Health grants to PTA. The U.S. Army Marketing and Research Group, we signed an MOU with that particular group, formalizing the collaboration and shared dedication to the education of our nation's youth. The U.S. Army, now that's big. Now, along the way, I've had a great team of board directors around me. They are hardworking, dedicated, and they reflect the diversity of America. During the last 2 years, we strengthened our relationship with Microsoft and the Gates Foundation. We led National PTA in educating more than 3 million people on the importance of Common Core and conducted more than 50,000 in-depth trainings. Through the work of our great Our Children magazine editorial team, we developed a relationship with billionaire and investor Warren Buffett on the importance of teaching financial literacy in our schools. I was able to go to his annual investors meeting for the last 2 years and talk up PTA and why everyone should invest in the vision of our children. In the last 2 years, we have become a thought leader in the area of STEM curriculum, telling the world how important it is and the arts are in a well-rounded education. And for the first time, we repeatedly stressed the importance of closing America's achievement gap and help schools with ways to talk truth to power. Now, make no mistake, National PTA during the last 2 years has spoken up for all of our children, not just those in two-parent families, not just those in the middle class, but not just those with engaged parents. We spoke up for all children. Give yourselves a hand for focusing on our mission and our calling. Recently, we have led efforts to pass the most comprehensive resolution to date supporting the inclusion of students with special needs in our all-school activities. In the last 2 years, we have led efforts to pass these resolutions supporting the counter negative effects of media on self-esteem of female students. I testified before Congress on the importance of child nutrition programs and have been a featured panelist at the White House for a series of summits on education excellence for African American and Hispanics. National PTA, we have put passion and purpose into our motto, every child, one voice. Team PTA, the facts that you have heard today have placed us in a better position. But we have to look at our SWOT, they call it, our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. As a team, we have set the conditions for President-elect Laura Bay and tomorrow's PTA to excel to the next level. I ask that we all gather behind her and give her our unequivocal support. Our current model, thank you. Our current model is a work in progress, but it is a new PTA model. But in order to maintain and improve our model, we must make a concerted effort to, number one, collaborate, working in a partnership with a wide array of individuals, organizations to accomplish our agreed upon goals. Number two, we must commit to promoting children's health, well-being, and educational success through strong parent and family and community involvement. Number three, we must be accountable. We have to acknowledge our obligations. Number four, we need to respect and value our colleagues and ourselves. We expect the same high quality of effort as we do from others. Number five, integrity. We must act consistently with our beliefs, and when we err, we acknowledge the mistakes and seek to make amends. Number six, inclusivity. We invite the stranger and we welcome the newcomer. We value to seek input from a wide spectrum of viewpoints and experiences as possible. Collaboration, commitment, accountability, respect, integrity, inclusivity, these are PTA values. I have been to 49 states, 2 territories in Europe over the last several years. And we have some absolutely wonderful PTA members in every one of our congresses. For our new delegates here today, this convention is a new format for National PTA. We designed this convention just for you. We reached out to our membership and we asked, what do you want? We want to make sure we met the needs of everyone here today. Our mission has been and will continue to be to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. I can leave PTA knowing that I did my part to move the mission a step closer to reality. Now, as we begin the convention, every delegate here, the state of this association is in your hands with our business, with our bylaws, and elections for the future of our association. Thank you very much.